Welcome everyone to our webinar titled Bring Your ENC Data Alive in ArcGIS Pro. I'm Ruben, GIS consultant at SIGGIS, and I've been working on using GIS in the always interesting and developing maritime world. First of all, who are we? We are SIGGIS. SIGGIS is an acronym for Spatial Intelligence Genuine and Generic IT Solutions, and we are a partner and sub-distributor of Esri. And we already have some maritime experience, such as experience with AIS data and other live data like camera images, bathymetry, bird management, ENC data, and utility networks. Today, the materials we will be using are mainly ArcGIS Pro with the Maritime extension enabled and an S57 cell. For our demos, we will first show you how we import and convert the data of our S57 cell to feature classes in ArcGIS Pro, and then we will show you a video we made that will show you the opportunities we open by having our data converted to feature classes. Alright, we have a brand new ArcGIS Pro project. Let's add the S57 cell to ArcGIS Pro. As you can see, it can display this cell using S52 symbology. However, its usage is very limited. For example, we can only manage symbology with some options applicable on the whole cell. So what can we do? We can identify features and gather information about them. For example, this building here. But we cannot edit or create new features, neither can we use them in geoprocessing or other GIS tools. So let's import and convert our S57 cell data to feature classes so that we can use it in GIS tools. First, we need a maritime geodatabase. How do we get such database? Well, we import an XML workspace document to our file geodatabase. The XML workspace document we will import is a maritime database schema file. This is provided by Esri in their product files for ArcGIS Maritime. It will add empty maritime feature classes, tables, and more. Now, let's skip this import process because it can take a while. Alright, we skipped ahead in time, and as you can see, we now have our maritime geodatabase with a nautical dataset alongside some supporting files. Now, let's take a look inside this nautical feature dataset. This is where our actual data will reside in thematic feature classes. Generally speaking, for each theme, there is an A for area, L for line, and P for point feature class. With some exceptions, like depths, we do not have depths P or depths point. Instead, we have soundings P or soundings point. These feature classes are still empty, so let's fill them now by importing our S57 cell data to them. For this, we use the Import S57 to Geodatabase tool. We give our S57 cell as input, as well as our maritime geodatabase for the target workspace. And for product configuration file, we give an XML file that describes the configuration of our S57 cell. What this tool does, it takes the items from the S57 and stores it in the appropriate feature classes. For example, the building we identified earlier will be stored in the Cultural Features A or Cultural Features Area feature class. Now that we have our data, the next step is symbology. For this, Esri provides layer files. So let's add one of them. And you will see for each of the thematic feature classes, there is a layer. However, these are not yet connected to a data source. So let's connect offshore installations P to our offshore installations P feature class. And now we will see some magic happen. The others will follow. And when all data sources are repaired, This is how the symbology looks like. But now, let's add our SIGGIS Maritime layer package. And let's repeat the process. Let's connect data sources. And once all are connected, this is our symbology with our layer file. Let's compare our symbology with the one of the Esri layer file. And then let's compare with the S57 cell imported into ArcGIS Pro. As you can see, we not only approximated the symbology, but we also improved it further while still complying to the S52 standards. Now we have our data and feature classes with appropriate S52 symbology. What opportunities does this open for us? To answer this, we will show you one of our YouTube videos.
Today we will be working with ENC data in ArcGIS Pro using S52 symbology. Firstly, we leverage ArcGIS Maritime for this. We import the ENC data to thematic feature classes. Having the ENC data in feature classes means we can use advanced GIS tools on the data, whether it be for analysis, editing, or visualization. And this also makes our ENC data interoperable with other layers, like imagery layers or CAD layers and other maps. These feature classes are displayed using layer files with a symbology other than S52 symbology. And lastly, we can export the data back to an S57 cell, back to an ENC format. SIGGIS added an S52 symbology layer package to this. This means we can apply S52 symbology to the thematic feature classes, which also means we can see the results of our work as they would show in an S57 cell in an ArcGIS system without the need of exporting the data. For our demos of today, we have a fictional scenario in which a new pontoon was built in the Albert II dock of the port of Antwerp-Bruges, and the surveyor provided CAD data of this new pontoon. In Demo 1, we will add the pontoon to our ENC data. In Demo 2, we will export this data to a GeoJSON for web applications. And in Demo 3, we will make a map for outside communication. This is a project in which the S57 cell of Zeebrugge was imported to thematic feature classes and mapped. Let's first zoom to our area of interest, the Albert II dock, and add the surveyor's drawing to the map. Then in the Edit ribbon, we will create a feature and choose the pontoon template. There is a template available for all ENC feature types. And let's use the Trace tool to trace our CAD drawing and finalize the drawing. As you can see, the feature gets added to the attribute table, in which we can also do edits, like let's edit the name of this pontoon. After the edits in ArcGIS Pro, we exported the data back to an S57 cell. Here is the S57 cell before the edits, and here is the S57 cell after the edits in an ArcGIS application. Now say you have a JavaScript application in which you want to map our pontoon data. We can export the pontoon data from our ENC to a GeoJSON. But first, let's make our map a little bit simpler by only enabling some of the thematic feature classes. The pontoon data resides in the ports and services A feature class. So let's select by attribute and select the subtype of pontoon. Now we can export these features to a JSON using the appropriate tool and use as input the selection we just made. Let's check our GeoJSON that was just created by dragging it into geojson.io. Good news, our data was exported correctly, including its attributes and geometry. For example, if we open the attributes of the pontoon we just created, it has the name we gave it. Lastly, to communicate our project to the press or via an article on our website, we can make a map using the layout function of ArcGIS Pro. Again, we will only select the thematic feature classes we want on our map. Let's select ports and services, natural features, depths, and cultural features. And let's also add an imagery hybrid base map. Now we go in our layout mode we already prepared. And to refine the map, we will change the transparency of our ENC data so we can see the imagery layer below. So let's recapitulate the opportunities opened by ArcGIS Maritime and the SIGGIS layer package. With ArcGIS Maritime, we can use advanced GIS tools on our ENC data, and it makes our ENC data interoperable with other layers, like imagery layers or other port-related layers or maps. And with the SIGGIS layer package, we can give our thematic feature classes S52 symbology, meaning we have a twin of our S57 cell in feature class format, which also means we can see the edits and our work as they will show in an eventual S57 cell without the need of exporting. Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoyed our webinar and that it was useful or educational to you. If you have any questions or feedback, you can always reach us on info@siggis.be. Thank you for watching.